Hello everyone and welcome back to Agrarian Skies. Off camera, I've spent a little bit of time getting some more dirt blocks and letting a couple of trees grow, getting a little bit more food and the like. As you can see, it's also raining, and I actually decided to start recording while it was raining for a specific purpose. I made some more oak barrels, and as you can see, when it rains, they fill up with water. We do have an infinite water supply right here, but without a bucket to move water around, there's no way to put water in these barrels without it raining. Now you might be asking, why would we want water in the barrels in the first place? And for that, we're going to take a little bit of sand and pound it into dust. Now, this dust, if you throw it into a full container of a full oak barrel filled with water, it will actually make a clay block that you can then easily harvest and use. Now, before we actually do that, I'm going to go ahead and complete the next quest in our list, which you'll be able to see is this Be Resourceful. And you need 1 sand, 1 cobblestone, 1 gravel, and 1 dust. So we have 1 gravel and 1 dust, so we need to make a few more stone pieces here, which we will do. There's that, and now the only other thing that we need is another sand. We don't want to waste the dirt unless we absolutely have to. Okay, so we're going to take this and break it into gravel. And then we're going to take that gravel and break it into sand. And then we're going to open up the quest book and say manually submit, and you'll see that it takes these all out of our inventory and goes ahead and completes them. Now we can select full heart or reward bag. I never go for full hearts because you can always get heart pieces in most of the other quests, and you can just, be careful and you won't lose your lives. I am down to 2, but I like getting the resource bags because there is a lot of opportunity to get some pretty good things. We're also going to get half of a heart and a pick of misfortune. Okay, so we get a good reward bag. Let's go ahead and see what we get here. Fire resistance. So it says useful. Personally, I don't think that's very useful, but that's okay. We'll find a way to make it worth our while. So now, these things are all filled with water. Now if we take this dust block, which you get from hammering sand, and just toss it in there, now it's clay. And clay is useful because it gives you an opportunity to make an unfired clay bucket. Now the other thing that you need to do is build a furnace. Now normally you would need 8 blocks of cobblestone in order to make a furnace, but luckily Ex Nihilo has created a different kind of furnace that you can make without having to use as many. And oh my goodness, look at that. We get sugarcane seeds and we get potato seeds. Alright. Let's go ahead and plant ourselves some potato seeds because those are actually quite useful. And then we're just going to, I guess, we'll make ourselves a full heart. And then what's the next quest that we can do here? Now this quest here is the next one that we have actually started, the unfired clay bucket and then the unfired crucible. The unfired crucible actually needs clay and something else. It will require us to have clay, and also we'll need to have some bone meal. And we can do that pretty easily. So I'll just go ahead and grab a couple more of these. That should be plenty for what we need to do. And then I'm about out of bone meal, so I'm just going to take another half stack. And then what we do with these guys is take it, mix the clay and the bone meal, and we make porcelain clay. Now in order to do the other part of this quest, we need 7. And you make it a make a little U shape there, and you get the unfired crucible. now that this is complete, we can say firing the pottery, and here it is. This is the slab furnace. Now the slab furnace uses cobblestone slabs to make a furnace, but it operates the same as a regular furnace, so you need 2 less cobblestone in order to get there. Now we only have 1 cobblestone, but we also have some extra stone here. That actually gets us 4, which actually makes it pretty close. So since we have a tree ready, I'll go ahead and see if I can't get a little bit more, and we're only going to need 2 more pieces of cobblestone to go ahead and get our furnace. And that'll actually be really helpful because we can chop down trees to make charcoal, that'll let us make torches, and then we can expand our platform a little bit more safely. Because presently speaking, I'm kind of reaching the limits of what we can do without having something to light it up at night, because I really don't feel like getting attacked by creepers on a platform floating in space. Personally, it just doesn't sound like much fun, so we'll try to avoid that. And now, if you look at that, we actually do have enough saplings to make the next dirt block, so that'll be good to have. And no more saplings, oh well. Okay, let's go ahead and take out a couple more of these. We're going to find a place that isn't raining to set these. Oh, look at that, we actually have some right here. Just put one right there. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and eat some of our cooked silkworms because I am running low on hunger. And then we'll go ahead and have a couple of apples too. Alright, that puts us in slightly better shape. Okay, on the plus side we do have plenty of extra water buckets, so if we, or water barrels rather, so if we do end up needing more later, it won't be much of a problem to get it. I guess the main thing we're going to need is just some more saplings. That worked out well. Let's see if we can get enough for another dirt block, and I think if we can get ourselves enough saplings out of this tree, that should be all the more than we need to go ahead and make our slab furnace. And then we can just use some of our leftover wood planks to go ahead and fire our crucible and our bucket. And once we do that, we're going to get into some of the most important things that you need to have when playing Agrarian Skies. Those things are going to be, firstly, the crucible, and the reason that you always need to get a crucible, and you want to get one as soon as possible, is because it can turn 4 cobblestone blocks into a lava source block. And that gives you a cobblestone generator, and a cobblestone generator, if you've been paying attention to how we get our resources here, basically gives you unlimited resources. You have got to be kidding me. Wow, just went right over the edge. Alright, so I guess we're going to have to get another one then anyway. I suppose that we'll just have to keep going then. And I think what I'll do before I take out the next dirt block is actually expand that area a little bit so that that's not happening. Okay, there's 5. That'll let us at least finish this. And let's go ahead and just expand this 1 extra. That should give us all the more space that we need. Alright. So in addition to this, I've thought about it, and I actually wrote down a couple of ideas for things that we can talk about that aren't just Minecraft things. I did a little bit of research, and I figured we could talk about some US issues, and I narrowed it down to a few. The ones that I'm particularly interested in would be immigration reform, climate change, and the war in Iraq and Afghanistan. So if anyone is interested in talking about those, I'd be more than happy to go online and get as many of the facts as I can, and then kind of talk about how I see them, and then open up the comments to other people and what they see out of them. So if that's something that anyone would be interested in doing, feel free to leave a comment and letting me know which one you'd like to talk about, and I would be all for doing what I can to help that along. I'm going to go ahead and throw in the rest of this stuff here. That way we can go ahead and finish our last one. String, silkworms, basically anything that you can eat along with saplings, and also leaves. If you get a couple pieces of iron, you can actually make shears, and shearing leaves is super useful for making dirt blocks. So that's a good thing to keep in mind in case you ever need to make some more dirt blocks for a farm. So we're going to go ahead and use this. Hopefully we'll get 4 stone chunks to make our last cobblestone, and once that's done, then we'll be good to go for our slab furnace. Just go ahead and let this finish real quick. Alright, so let's hope for 4 people. And we get 2. Excellent. Alright, well, luckily I know of one other thing that you can do. It's a bit of a waste of the resources that I have presently, but we're well on the way to being able to have everything that we need right away. So you can also use carrots. It takes, I believe, 13 carrots. Technically it's 12 and a half, but you need 13 because there are no half measures in that section of the game, unfortunately. But on the plus side, it also gives me some carrots to nom on, so we're going to go ahead and eat the last of these. That way we have ourselves a little more hunger to deal with. And we're going to put our sugarcane seeds in here because, my luck, I will drop them and fall to my death at some point in time and die. We're going to go and put the rest of these things in here that we need. We're going to get rid of the writing pick because I don't really need that, and I'm going to take out the pick of misfortune instead. We need netherrack to repair it, but we can get to that. Almost done here, another 10% to go. And perfect. Now even if we only get 2, 2 is the absolute minimum that we can get as far as stones go. So there we go. Now we have all of those. All we need to do is make 2 sets of slabs, and then the open square just like that, and we have ourselves a slab furnace. Voila. And now we're just going to go ahead and toss in a couple of these guys and grab out our unfired clay bucket and our unfired crucible. I'm going to toss the crucible in there. Now the crucible needs a heat source underneath it in order to operate. The lowest level but still possible heat source that you can throw in is actually just a torch underneath. So that's what we're probably going to go ahead and do right now because I don't have any other source of fire, or source of heat rather. And once we get our lava started, then we'll be able to use lava instead. So what I'm going to do is put that right there. And it takes a long time when you're just using a torch to actually turn the cobblestone into lava, but it does get there eventually. So we're just going to go ahead and make ourselves a couple cobblestone here, or a couple of charcoal here, and once we get that, make ourselves a couple torches. We'll put one underneath that, and one over here, and now we have plenty of light for the time being. Now, what we also need to do is get ourselves 4 cobblestone to put in here. So what I'm going to do is just make one of these that we can see this. And you can put up to 5 cobblestone at one time in here, and then as it melts down, it'll continue to kind of make more space. You can have a total of 2 full buckets of lava in here at once, but then you need to take it out. Now the clay bucket can move water around indefinitely, but it cannot move around lava indefinitely. It is a one-time use for lava. So when you're setting up your cobblestone generator, you have to remember that and make sure that you do not move the lava first, otherwise you will need to make another clay bucket. So that's going to be our plan for next time. Before we do any more quests, I'm going to want to make our cobblestone generator, because that just deals with all kinds of hassle in the later stages of the game. Also, we got a lye, so that's kind of fun. They've changed that from cake to a lye, which is kind of cool. I think next time, since we do have the clay bucket, I'm going to make an area off camera to start fishing, because in this one all you need to do is just catch a raw fish. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and then this dust in the wind is what we're going to tackle after we're done getting our cobblestone generator set up. So we're going to do those 2 things, and then probably the episode after that we'll look into the smeltery. So leave a comment if you're interested in talking about either immigration reform, the war in Iraq, or there was one other one in there. What was the other one that I wanted to talk about now? The other one was, climate change, of course. I'm more of a science guy, so if we want to talk about climate change, kind of looking at the facts, maybe like how the ozone is being depleted, different things like some of the science behind it, not just the politics behind it. I'd be more than happy to share that with people, just because knowing the science kind of really helps you make a more informed decision. So if anyone's interested in talking about any one of those, please feel free to leave a comment. Like and subscribe if you're liking the series at all so far. If you don't like it and there's something that you'd want to see changed, or if there's something that you'd like me to do better, something different that you'd like me to do, please let me know. I'm all for constructive criticism. And I will see you guys next time, and we will start working on our cobblestone generator. Bye.